Hi everyone, welcome back to The Technical, where I give you simplified tech tutorials and solutions. Today's video is all about personalizing your Windows computer. I'll start it with the basics like changing your desktop and lock screen, and then I'll also go into some other really cool customizable features. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start out with the basics and go to the personalization settings. The easiest way to get there is to right-click on any part of your screen and then click on Personalize from the menu. Once we're in the personalization settings, you'll see all the categories on the left. For now, I'd like to focus on background and then lock screen. For background, you have three options as to what your background can be. It can be a picture, a solid color, or a slideshow. For a picture, the recent photos that you've had as your background will be automatically populated here. You can also browse your file explorer to select the photo that you'd like your background to be set to. What's nice about this too is that you can select the fit that best works that photo, and there is a good variety of options that you can choose from. The second option you have is a solid color. Windows has a great variety of background colors that you can choose from, but you can customize this a little bit more by clicking on the plus sign where it says custom color and dragging your cursor to the color that you like in the color box. And say I like this blue color, I can make this as light or as dark as I'd like. Another thing that you can do to customize the color is to click More to access these RGB and HSV color settings, and then also input your own hex color into here. I personally always use E34A4D as my color, so that's what I'd like it to be today. So I put that in there and I will just click Done and it will be set. Now the third option is to do a slideshow. Similar to the picture option for your background, you can click Browse to access your file explorer and select the photos that you'd like. You can choose how often those photos will change, if you'd like the photos to be shuffled or not, and even if you're running on battery power. And again, you can choose the best fit for those photos. Moving on to the lock screen, there are three options that you can choose from. Selecting any of these three options will give you very similar choices. For Windows Spotlight, you cannot change the background image, but the photos are automatically generated from Bing and showcase very good quality images. For all the other lock screen settings, you'll see that you can choose one app that will show a detailed status on the lock screen. You can also choose 7 apps that will show a quick status on the lock screen. I have the Mail app here. If I wanted to add another app, I would click the plus sign and see the available apps. You also have the option to turn off the background picture when you're signing into your computer. I personally like that on though, so I'll keep that on for now. The next option we have is to select a picture as our background. You can browse your file explorer and select a photo that you'd like your background to be set to, and we also have this added feature that we didn't see for the Windows Spotlight option, where we can get fun facts, tips, and more from Windows and Cortana on your lock screen. And just like we saw before, we can select one app that will show a detailed status, 7 apps that will show quick status, and you can turn off the background picture when you're signing into your computer. The last option we have for the lock screen is to choose a slideshow. You can choose an album for your slideshow, and you can also click this plus sign where it says Add a Folder to open up your file explorer and select a folder of photos that you have on your computer. You can click where it says Advanced Slideshow Settings to see a couple more options for your slideshow. And just like we saw with the picture lock screen setting, we can choose whether we want fun facts and tips, if we want one app to show a detailed status on the lock screen, apps that will show quick status, and if you want the background picture to be turned off or on when you're signing into your computer. Okay, now that we have the background and lock screen basics covered, let's move on to the color category. Here, there are really cool changes that you can make that will improve the overall appearance of your computer and make it customized to you. There are 3 color modes that you can select from: light, dark, and then custom. This is what light looks like, this is what dark looks like, and then in the custom mode, you can select if your Windows or app mode is light or dark. Whether you are in light or dark mode, the choices below will all be the same. We have the option to turn off and on the transparency effects. As you can see, mine is set to on now, so the side menu here is a little bit transparent and you can see my background color peeping through. If I were to turn that off, you'll see that the side menu turns into a solid color and you cannot see through it at all. I like that on, so I'll go ahead and turn that back on. Moving on to accent colors, you can either have Windows automatically pick an accent color for you, depending on the background image that you set. You can choose one of the accent colors listed already, or you can choose your own custom color by clicking on the plus sign to access the color picker box with advanced color options. Like I did with my background image, I'd like to set my custom accent color to E34A4D, so all I have to do is put that hex color in there and then click Done. Below all the colors, you can choose where the accent color appears on surfaces. The two choices are Start, Taskbar, and Action Center, and then title bars and window borders. I'll note that when you are in light mode, the Start, Taskbar, and Action Center option is grayed out. This is because a custom color that you may select may not be properly visible on your screen, so Windows prevents that by graying out that option. However, it is an option when you are in dark mode. At the top of the Colors page, there is a very helpful preview of what your screen will look like with all of those customizable features that you set. Next up, we'll go over themes. Themes have the most impact on personalizing the appearance on your desktop on Windows 10. They can give you a new set of wallpaper and include unique sounds, colors, and mouse cursors. At the top, you will see with the current theme that you've set. Below, where it says Change Theme, you can see all of the previously installed themes, or you can click where it says Get More Themes in Microsoft Store to explore all the themes that Microsoft has to offer. There are so many themes that you can choose from, and most of them are free. Scroll through the list to find a theme that you like and install it by clicking on that theme, clicking Get, and then clicking on Apply. You'll see that theme that you just installed show up in the themes available to you, and you can click on that to enable that theme. You'll see the preview of the theme here, and you can also go into these handy shortcuts to customize this a little bit further. If I were to go into background, we can see that my background is now set to a slideshow comprising of all of those photos within that theme. In the theme section, under related settings, you'll see desktop icon settings. Here is where you can select which icon do you want to be displayed on your desktop. So for example, say I wanted all of these to be shown, I would click the check boxes, click Apply, and then OK, and you'll see all of those icons appear on my desktop. To remove those, go back into desktop icon settings and uncheck them. You can also change the default Windows desktop icons. Select the icon that you want to change, click Change Icon, and then browse through all of the icons that Windows has to offer. You can also click Browse to open up your File Explorer and select an icon file type. The key is to have an icon file type because the desktop icons are not supported by JPEG or PNG files. For example, I took an image that I downloaded from the web, used an online JPEG to ISO file type converter website, and then I saved it to my downloads so that I could use it as the custom This PC icon. This is the icon that I want, so I just double clicked it, and then I will click OK, and then Apply. Now, in my File Explorer, you'll see that this PC is showing that icon that I wanted it to be. Moving on from themes, the font section is really just a place where you can manage the fonts available to your computer, so let's skip over that and go to the Start menu. There are 7 options that you can toggle on and off, and you can also choose which folders appear on the Start menu. A lot of this is personal preference, so I suggest going through these, turning off and on the ones that you think works best for you, but I will show you in the Start menu that you can rearrange the apps to how you'd like it to be. So you can drag the apps, you can also drag one app into another app to create a folder and name the folder. And you can right-click an app to get a couple more options like unpin, resize, more, and then uninstall. Last but not least, we have the taskbar settings, and there are a lot of features that we can play around with here. First off, we have locking the taskbar, which prevents accidental moving or resizing. If you leave this turned off, you can move the taskbar to any side of your screen by holding the mouse down on the taskbar and then dragging it to the place on your screen where you want the taskbar to be. Or you can resize your taskbar by placing your cursor on the edge of the taskbar until you see that line with the arrows on each end, and you can click and drag your mouse up or down to change the height of the taskbar. The next 2 options are cool since you can automatically hide the taskbar in desktop or tablet mode. I personally like having these options turned on because it gives you a lot more space on your desktop, and it reminds me of a Mac where you have to move your cursor to the taskbar area for it to appear. For the purposes of this video though, I'm going to turn these back off so that you can better visualize the changes that I'm making. The next feature is using small taskbar buttons. This is very helpful when you have many applications opened and you want all of those apps to be visible in the taskbar. So here's it off, and then here is it turned on. And you can see the apps are very tiny and the taskbar itself is very small. So the next feature is a simple one, but you can turn on the ability to preview the desktop when you move your mouse to the rightmost side of the taskbar. So I will show you that turned on, and then I'll show you that turned off. So it is turned on now, and when I hover my mouse over the rightmost side of the taskbar, you'll see that it reveals the desktop and it hides all the apps. And if I turn that feature back off, instead of hovering over that area, I can just click into that area to show my desktop. I keep this next option turned on because it was already turned on when I got my computer. And then the one after it for showing badges on taskbar buttons. I think that this can be useful, especially when you have a Chrome window opened and you have a profile set on there. The Chrome icon I have opened, it has an N on it. If I were to turn badge icons off, you won't be able to see that N anymore. Just like I showed you how we can drag the taskbar to the side of our screens, you can also just do that directly in the settings by clicking this drop-down menu and selecting the location of the screen where you want the taskbar to be. The next drop-down menu is about combining the taskbar buttons. I recommend always combining the taskbar buttons because you can have many windows open of the same application and it is an unnecessary usage of the taskbar space, but I'll show you the other options that you can do as well. So when taskbar is full, this is the option, and then never, it will show all of those instances and windows of those apps. So showing that I have 3 windows open for the app Audacity and 2 opened for Chrome. Next up is all about the notification area, and we can select which icons will appear on the taskbar and how many will appear on the taskbar and how many appear on the taskbar. So if you click this right here, we can toggle this on or off to always show all icons in the notification area. Mine is turned off now, so we can see that there's an up arrow, which when clicked will reveal all of those hidden icons. But if I were to turn this on, you'll see that all of those icons are showing in my taskbar and it takes up a lot of space. So I'd like to turn that back off. And then we can select which icons we want to appear on the taskbar. And this is, again, personal preference, so feel free to go through these and turn them on or off and see which one best fits your preferences. We can also click this to turn system icons on or off. So say we did not want the clock to appear on the bottom right side of our screen, we can turn that off. And the same goes for all of these as well. Nearing the end of the taskbar settings page, we have this multiple display section where we can decide whether or not the taskbar will show on all displays. I have an external monitor connected now, so that is where having this feature turned on is very helpful, and it is also nice to customize this even further with the drop-down menus provided. For the first drop-down menu, you can select which taskbar view you want. So for the first one, it means that your taskbar on your main display will show on your secondary display. The second option means that the taskbar on your main display will stay the same, but the taskbar on your secondary display will only show the apps that are active on that display. And then the last option will only show the apps on the taskbar that are active on each display. The next drop-down is exactly what we saw before, where we can choose whether or not the buttons on the taskbar are combined or not, depending on how many windows of an app that you have opened. The last section of the taskbar settings page is People. Now you can select whether you want contacts in this People app, so I will have this turned off, but if you have it turned on, you can select how many contacts to show. You can show notifications, play a sound, and show app suggestions as well. Thanks for watching. I hope that you found this helpful. Like and subscribe for more tech tutorials and solutions for all.